Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Before we start, let's go through the book day recommendation. Today we have 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. An extraordinary book, one of my favorites. I consider this book as an unprecedented vision of what power games mean. I really like the retrospect in history and the principles drawn from those stories. A link will be in the description. Without further ado, let's go to the video.
The females searched out literary representations of pornography. It's Beauty and the Beast.
Billions of dollars that people spend on that, enhancing sexual interest, and take your cues from your fantasies, blow your whole life up and that of your partner as well.
I was reading this book called A Billion Wicked Thoughts. It was written by a bunch of engineers at Google, and they were looking at billions of Google searches. And there's no shortage of pornography on the internet. And there's much less by proportion than there was when the internet was first invented. And it's so interesting because it actually turned out that one of the things that drove the development of the internet and the technology was the proclivity of young men to search out sexually provocative images. That was what was at the forefront of the development of the net. It's extraordinarily interesting. They were motivated to use it for that purpose, and that provided the platform from which it emerged. Amazing. Anyways, the Google engineers looked at pornographic search processes and then segregated male searches from female searches, and what they found was that the males searched out images. Surprise, surprise, no one considers that particularly interesting, but the females searched out literary representations of pornography. It was written. I can give you an example of that. If you know about Harlequin romances, they're mass market romances and of a very stereotypical type. The original ones were pretty harmless in terms of no violence and no real sexual content. But that was 40 years ago, and they've differentiated tremendously, and now there's hardcore Harlequin romances and with particularly garish covers, and then there's the old, more tame, basic, sexless and aggressionless romances where everything is implied and not explicit, but the explicit ones exist. So they did a plot analysis of the typical pornographic female fantasy. It's so comical because engineers did this, and social scientists would never do this because they'd be probably too concerned about the ethics of it or some damn thing. But engineers, they'll just plow ahead with no concern whatsoever for such things, and they actually discovered things that way. They discovered the basic plot of the female pornographic literary product, and they identified, so basically what happened was that a innocent, well-meaning and attractive young woman encounters a male who's a bit of a monster. There's 5 types of classic male monster. For all males who want to know, this is what you can become: vampire, werewolf, billionaire, pirate, and surgeon. That's very interesting because, first of all, there's a dominance thing. There's predatory dominance that's implicit in that. With the billionaire, it's more abstract, but clearly that's an indication of very high success in the male dominance hierarchy. But there's this desire for aggression that's in that, a real aggression. And it's not surprising to me at all. It makes perfect sense. The woman encounters this mysterious and aggressive male and tames him. That's the female hero myth, as far as I can tell. It's Beauty and the Beast. And so it's because there's no fun in taming someone who's already tame. And what makes you think you really want someone who's tame anyways? There's no interest in that. Plus, when chaos manifests itself, what makes you think that someone tame is going to be good for anything? And it's a real question. And so that aggression is absolutely vital. It's absolutely necessary. But because it's injurious, which of course it is, it has to be civilized. And so what happens is that the archetypal female in these pornographic romances seduces and tames the aggressive male. And that's her encounter with chaos. Of course, females, they're more complicated, and that's exactly how it is. And it's no wonder, because their lives are more complicated.
Different topic. As a woman, I have fantasies about bad boys. Is this something I need to mature out of or realize in my sex life in different ways? It's not that easy to maintain sexual interest on a continuously rewarding basis across long spans of time, say with the same partner as we age, say. Fantasy can provide pointers to overcome that proclivity for the deterioration of sexual interest. I remember reading Raymond Chandler. He talked about the beauty industry and the fashion industry, and hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars that people spend on that, enhancing sexual interest, and came to the conclusion that it was all worth it because it's difficult to do. It's difficult to pull beauty into sexuality. It's difficult for each of us to maintain our attractiveness to other people. It's difficult under many circumstances to maintain being attracted. Fantasies, that's the part of you that has a proclivity towards sexual gratification, trying to make what it needs and wants known to you. And I would say incorporating that into your sex life is probably the best bet. Those are fantasies that you could hypothetically talk about with your partner, assuming that you have a partner that you could talk to about such things, and maybe that would free him or her up to talk about such things with you. And maybe your partner might be more interested in your fantasies and helping you along with them than you think. Take your cues from your fantasies. If you have fantasies about something that you need sexually, say, and those aren't satisfied in your life, they're not realized in your life, then when the opportunity to realize them comes up in the form of the possibility of an affair, let's say, or a betrayal, you're much more likely to be tempted in that direction than you would be if you had incorporated that into a broader conception of what your sex life might be. So, one way of maintaining satisfaction with a monogamous partner is to vary what you do with that partner. And if that variation is fueled by your mutual sexual fantasies, and then those fantasies are gratified, then one source of motivation to look elsewhere and potentially blow your whole life up, and that of your partner as well, while doing so, is ameliorated.
Hello guys, this is another input of myself in the video. First things first, I wanted to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, a productive day. And I wanted to tell you something about porn addiction. It may be off, but if you go to my channel, you'll see a bunch of videos about porn addiction and the bad effects of it in your life. I wanted to say, you saw that videos there because it was a bad part of my life. So if I want to tell you something about me, I was a porn addict for maybe all my life. I quit it 2 years ago. I made a decision because my life was fucked up, so fucked up, and I didn't know why. I was not doing work, I was staying inside, not making any social interaction with someone. My sexual life was down the hill, down very bad. And I wanted to tell you guys, quit or stay aside of that. It's fucking up you. It's destroying your mental health, it's destroying your relationship with your family, it's destroying the possibility to have a good relationship with somebody. And you just get addicted and addicted and addicted and more addicted, and I don't know, it's not worth for that 5 minutes of pleasure that you get, maybe 10, 15, 1 hour, 2 hours, depends on how deep you are in that. Because you know that porn addiction is working at some point you don't get enough. You just don't get enough, so you want more, and you find yourself at midnight in your chair on the 68 page of Pornhub trying to find that video that you remind about so you can jerk off to that. And it's fucking disgusting. To be honest, it's fucking disgusting, and when I look back at myself doing that, I get a gut feeling, like a bad gut feeling about myself, and how I imagine myself doing that. I'm like, what the fuck was wrong with me? And I remember I fucked up my relationship that time. I fucked up my relationship with my parents that time. I was not doing work, I was getting out of shape, or I was fucked up. So keep in mind to stay away from that. It's not worth it. Like, it's not fucking worth it. And the benefits of staying away from that are huge, 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 huge. So until I catch you in the next video, hope you have a good day, a productive day. Peace.